Voice Notes with Shyloh! I'm Shyloh, and this is my podcast where I exchange brief voice notes with some of my best friends and or people I barely know, and possibly people who are somewhere in the middle. Who knows? It's a surprise. This week, it is with a good friend, though. This week was wild and fun. Let's talk about the throes of water aerobics. Let's talk about making up your own sports. Let's talk about why do we still have to get jobs in 2025? How about that? Let's talk about that. I'd like to know, actually, the answer. But remember, this is a podcast, and I'd love to have some ratings if you'd like to do that. You could do 5 stars. That's just a hint. That'd be great, though. This week is awesome. We have a guest I'm so excited to have. They are an incredible storyteller, an incredible stand-up comedian, one of my most favorite people to work with. Please enjoy this super fun episode where I exchange voice notes with Jason Schommer. Hello, Jason. Thank you so much for doing the Voice Notes podcast. I'm really excited to exchange voice notes with you this week. I'm currently getting ready, probably should be leaving for work, but I'm all dressed in my nicest clothes because I have a job interview, and I'm pretty sure that'll be okay to say on the internet by the time this posts. It's with the organization that I'm already working with, so I'm wearing my nicest clothes. And last week I went shopping for the clothes. What happened was I walk into the store, I'm off my ADHD meds, so I'm in JCP unmedicated, which is just already hilarious by itself. The fact that I'm even in JCP, and I'm walking around and I find like shirts that I really like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. And then I look up at the wall where they have like a model of a woman wearing them, and she is the oldest person that corporate America would willingly put into a clothing ad. And I was like, all right, well, I guess this one's for the ancestors. Anyway, I'm nervous. I had nightmares about being late and stuff, but that's okay. You're not my therapist. I don't have to tell you all about the weird elevator dreams that made me late. And why are people on top of elevators in my dreams? That's scary. Oh, after this is all over, I'm definitely just going to have to sit down and write some of it down because there's obviously some material here.
Shyloh, oh my gosh, good luck on the job interview. I hope it goes great. You will be fantastic. But, I mean, honestly, let's get real. Is there anything worse than a job interview? Oh, it's excruciating. You know, I think the worst question that they can ask is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm always like thinking like, well, 5 years ago, I didn't think I'd be interviewing for this job. So, you know, what do I know? But yeah, I was laid off last December. It was such a nightmare. So I'm in the job market. I'm looking for a job. So I feel your pain. JCPenney's. Yes, JCPenney's. It was right after COVID, and I was wanting a pair of Levi's, and I went to JCPenney's, and the dressing rooms were closed due to COVID for whatever reason. And so I was trying to figure out how I could try on these pair of jeans, and all of a sudden, JCPenney's employee was kind of like Paul Lynde. He's like this just really flamboyant character. Like he just appeared at the end of the aisle of socks, and he's just like, just so you know, the fitting rooms are closed because of COVID, but there's a men's restroom right over there. And then he just kind of gave me this look, meaning like, you know, like just sneak the jeans into the bathroom and try them on there. So I looked over to where the bathroom was. Then I looked back to him, and he was gone. He just disappeared like a leprechaun or something. But yeah, so I took the jeans into the bathroom and I tried them on, and they fit. So I bought them. Elevators, seriously. Like I was once I had an anxiety attack in an elevator because I got stuck in one once. That was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. You know, Shyloh, I swear to God, like your voice note. Oh, I'm so tired. Your voice note this morning, like, brought up a lot of triggers for me already right off the bat. This is going to be an interesting week. Yeah. Well, I'm tired because I had my class reunion this weekend. It was like an all weekend thing. We did stuff on Friday, all of Saturday, and then Sunday. And let me tell you this, I'm kind of too old for this lifestyle.
Today I've been thinking a lot about if I should start carrying a clipboard, just in public. I'm trying to decide if it makes me look smart or too aggressive. I think it actually really depends on if I'm wearing a whistle as well, just blowing the whistle and then tracking how long it takes people to get across the street or whatever. That would be very aggressive. But I feel like just a regular clipboard is the new power suit, right? I am so sorry for being triggering. I will not tell you the rest of that dream because it was insane. Also, I didn't realize you were laid off. I'm so sorry. And then I'm just over here all Marie Antoinette eating my cake and asking for more. I think it went really well though. And I did look nice because of my JCP old lady timeless clothing. Have you watched Traitors? I'm watching the new season with my girlfriend, so I can't I think it's called Netflix cheating or whatever, where you're watching it with someone and then you watch it without them. So instead I'm just watching the first 2 seasons. Here's what I've learned. So I read a book recently about how you can actually judge people based on their body language as well as you think you can. And even the idea of whether or not someone is making eye contact actually isn't as cut and dry predictable. It's more about looking for changes in behavior than what the actual behavior itself is. And I've been thinking about that a lot after reading the book, and it's really interesting to watch Traitors and see people who are so confident because a facial expression or someone was fidgeting or a tone of voice or whatever, and just how we can be so confident and tell ourselves these whole stories and be so wrong on national television. I think what I found most fascinating about that book is that you can never actually be 100% certain about someone's body language. All that it can really do is prompt you to ask more or different questions, but you can never actually make a real determination. And there's so many examples of times where people had reasons for certain demeanors or body language behaviors. It's fascinating.
Okay, first off, absolutely yes to the clipboard. It's such a great idea. After you said that, I'm thinking maybe I should start carrying a clipboard as well, even though I don't even work. But, oh yeah, the whistle, I'm always game, I'm not one of these people, less is more. I'm more is more and more is good. So yes to the whistle. I mean, it might be a little extra, but it's 2025. Nothing's wrong with being extra. And hey, I get it. Don't worry about not knowing I was laid off. I'm no guilt trip, but I'm used to people not paying attention to me in my life. At my reunion this last weekend, one of my best friends since, middle school, Nicole, we were sitting there at the country club, because, we're very bougie up in Little Falls. And she offered me chicken because I said I was hungry. And she's like, oh, here's some chicken. Yeah, Shyloh, I've been a vegetarian for 20 years. And I think she knows it, but just spaced it out. I don't know. Anyways, I had my revenge and I put it on Facebook, and then with an unflattering photo because that's how I roll. And so that happened on Friday night, and then Sunday morning we were at the bar for breakfast. Again, that's how we roll. And the woman at the table next to us leaned over and it was just oh, you're the friend that offered him chicken. They had seen it on Facebook, and it made me really laugh. And Nicole didn't know who the person was. The Traitors, I have not seen it, Shyloh. I have not seen a single episode of the Traitors, but here's the thing, I live it. So I could probably give you feedback on it without even having watched an episode. But a lot of my friends recommend it, so I'll have to check it out. Oh, God. It's just, it's been another long day. And this morning in water aerobics, it was Shirley's birthday. She turned 89, and so it was a really big deal. We had to sing to her in water aerobics. So I've now can cross off singing happy birthday to an elderly woman in the pool off my bucket list. But another lady was annoyed that there wasn't cupcakes or cake, and I said, well, I have a feeling it would probably just get really soggy since we're in a pool, and she did not appreciate that at all. So just another day, and my sarcasm is not popular. Always something, Shyloh. Always something.
I would honestly probably eat the soggy pool cake. It's good you're making friends at water aerobics, though. Sounds like that's going really well. And happy birthday to Shirley. Okay, isn't Facebook revenge not the sweetest of revenges? Good job on the Facebook revenge. That's almost genius, probably. And the whistle thing, you know what? I was feeling like that's too much, but now that you said it, I can see it happening. Like, I'm like, you know what? It is 2025 and I should be extra. But then there's this tiny little part in my brain that's like, maybe, you know, when you have that friend who's doing something kind of dumb and you just want to see them keep doing it because you want to see where it goes. I feel like maybe that's like the seed you're planting. I think I'm also living Traitors because the saddest thing about this show is people get voted off for being who they are. Like, people will have a quirk or something and they'll be treated like, wow, that's the most suspicious thing. They have to be the traitor because they're not the warmest, or they have like a different demeanor, or all their quirks or whatever, and it's like they have to be the traitor because they don't act exactly how I wish they were acting. And that, I can relate to that, being the person who's voted off for those reasons. So yeah, I guess it's just like real life traitors out here in the world. The rest of my week has been delightfully boring. It's always better when it's boring. Although I will say that I am on the social media team at work, and that is my fault because I told people that I do comedy and that I do art and all this stuff. So that's on me. It's hard to say no when they're like, hey, you know what? You should do the social media team at work. I thought it would be more like I'd be doing design work or something. Nope, they want me on camera. Totally fine. I love being on camera. But it's kind of getting to the point where I'm like, oh no, what if the work social media does better than my social media? Like, what if I'm doing better being like the corporate, like, look at us at our work kind of TikToks, right? It's okay. Like, I'm still writing jokes and stuff every day, so I'm sure everything's going to turn out just fine.
Well, Shyloh, Friday's actually my birthday, so I think I might bring cake to water aerobics, even though it'll probably be really soggy and the candles won't light because, well, they're wet. I might do it. Actually, I think I probably will do it, you know, and I'm okay with stealing Shirley's thunder. You know, she's 89. I probably won't make it to 89. So this moment will be all about me. If it was Connie though, I would do it without hesitation. Connie makes me crazy. I got in trouble for splashing her, but she deserved it. But I don't know, there's something to be like being a grown adult and being reprimanded and told that we do not splash people in water aerobics. That is kind of awkward and strange. Anyways, I always encourage my friends to do dumb things. And then what I do is I act like I have amnesia and I have no recollection of encouraging them to do it. It's just who I am. All right, I'm sold, Shyloh. I am sold. Tomorrow night, I will watch The Traitors, and I will have plenty of thoughts to share with you. And yeah, I get it. You know, online social media stuff is always so strange. Like, I have TikTok, and I once went viral on TikTok in a video, and it got 5.4 million views. But I was just in a video with someone, and then it took off like wildfire. But I don't ever really use it. I just use like TikTok to watch like raccoon videos. Like, that's it. And yeah, I suppose if I put a little effort into it, maybe something could go viral again. I don't know. Fingers crossed. Time will tell. Oh my God, Shyloh, I was just thinking maybe what I need to do on TikTok is make videos from water aerobics. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, it's a whole subculture that's utterly fascinating. And who wouldn't want to see me locked in a power struggle with my nemesis Connie over a pool noodle? Huh. It almost writes itself, seriously. All right, I got to think on this. Bye. All right, I am in Wisconsin because I am teaching a class to young artists on the art of storytelling. So wish me luck. Should be interesting. But, you know, I really like Wisconsin. It's really pretty, and it's also kind of like a lawless land. Like, you never know what is going to happen at any moment. It's like, you know, Wisconsin is basically like the Texas of the North. It's highly unpredictable. And I get now why Laura Ingalls and her family fled in the dead of night. But sometimes you're just up for a good adventure, and today will be one. All right, so I'm going to watch the Traitors tonight. Do I start with the American series or the British series? What do I do? So let me know, and I hope your day is going well. Hope you have your clipboard and whistle. If not, I'll be greatly disappointed. Bye.
So I started season 1 because I'm watching season 3 with my partner. I finished season 1 this morning, moving on to season 2. I haven't done the UK one yet. I want to do the UK one. Apparently, they do regular people, not celebrities, so that's pretty wild. I am absolutely living for this Connie from Water Aerobics idea. I think you've got to do something with that. I totally volunteer to play Connie. I think I could make her the worst. Also, I can't believe you got yelled at for splashing as an adult. And now you're about to teach young people how to write stories. Oof. There is something about being scolded as an adult that brings like an extra layer of shame that just makes me want to lash out even more. But to be honest, it doesn't happen that much since I quit drinking, so I'm probably fine. I have also called Wisconsin the Texas of the North. I love Wisconsin so much. It's one of my favorite places to do shows in a town I've never heard of. You drive through the woods forever and you show up in this little place and you're like, wow, there's nothing around, but the place is packed. Best crowds ever, down for anything, super fun. They have slot machines in the bars. Have you played Bonus Hole? My favorite thing about going to Wisconsin, you can play Bonus Hole. I think some of the bars have those in Minnesota, but you really just don't see that as much. Every Wisconsin bar, I feel like, has Bonus Hole. That's like super cool that you're teaching storytelling. I love that. Giving back to the community, the Wisconsin community. That's amazing. I really just wanted to see how many times I could say bonus hole in this voice note, and I think that was the 4th. I'm actually really excited for my next few days. Tonight, I'm going to see Jane Wickline with a good friend, and I think that'll be fun. I'll let you know. But this weekend, I'm going up to my uncle's house and to see a portion of my family that I love to hang out with, and we're going to have so much fun. I think it's kind of close to where you're from, actually, like just north of St. Cloud. And when I say this is like a fun part of my family, this is like, so I grew up in a really rural place, and this portion of my family where they live, it's not the same as that. It's way more fun than that, but it kind of brings me back to those like, oh, is she just a little bumpkin kind of mentality in it. And I just have a lot of fun with it. One time, my uncle has had some health problems and he had to have these motorized wheelchairs, and so my cousin and I took the motorized wheelchairs and some pool noodles and we were jousting in them, and we tried to take a video way back before videos were good, and we're like, oh, we're gonna start like the Redneck Renfest, which I think is a great idea, but the video was horrible. It was really like back in the day when those of us who grew up with Jackass were trying to make Jackass videos, but it was just a bunch of stupid kids giggling on a stupid video. That's except for we were adults. So that's how that went. But I stand by wheelchair jousting. I do believe that's a game for the gods.
Well, the storytelling class went incredibly well. I could not be happier with it. There's just something about 50 high school students looking at you, like, immediately if they are in or they are out. That is a crowd that, boy, it's right there on their face. Anyways, it went great. So hopefully, someone's inspired and they go forth in their lives and tell some great stories. It was a lot of fun. I'd never done it before, so I was way out of my comfort zone. But I'm pretty proud of myself. It went well. It went very well. Oh my gosh, your uncle lives up by my hometown. Okay, so what's his name? Do I know him? Is he from my hometown, Little Falls? If you can't say on the podcast, just let me know via text because I got to figure this out. I'm on the case and Detective Jason is going to crack it. Oh my, wheelchair jousting? Seriously, Shyloh, like, you have lived a life. Like, I need to hear more about this. I've never even heard of it. Kind of like the closest thing that I could say that I've come to was, I think it was either late middle school, like 8th grade, or early high school, like 9th grade, somewhere in there. Maybe ninth, 10th grade. We were drunk, like, that's just small town life. Like, that's what we did. We were drunk teenagers, and we were out at my friend's dad's house, and he lived out in the country. It just, huge property. And he was kind of like a gearhead. So he had a lot of like lawnmowers and stuff that we're riding. And so we would have lawnmower races through the field. And, we were hammered, but, which do not drive a riding lawnmower drunk. Like, no, we know better now. So don't do it. But, this was the 80s. Like, we were feral children. We're lucky to be alive. Anyways, and then we got busted, and we weren't like, nothing, was damaged or anything like that, but we got busted because we had used all of the gas on the property for the running lawnmowers for our races. And her dad was mad because we didn't have the blades down, because the least that we could have done while racing was actually mowed. But we didn't. We just we just raced them drunk. I'm not proud of it. And again, if anyone is listening to this, one, don't come at me and try to cancel me, okay? It's the ignorance of youth. And number two, I'm a cautionary tale now. Like, use me as an example to do better. All right, I'm off to watch the Traitors season 1. Here we go.
I will say it's really hard to argue with the argument that if you were racing the lawnmowers, you should have mowed the lawn. And why would a teenager ever even consider that? That does sound super fun, though, and next time you get together with all your high school friends and do the race, let me know. I will be there. That's what your reunion should be, is like the winner of the reunion wins the lawnmower race. I love a good, like racing competition, a good, like, sporting event. I will text you where my aunt and uncle live. I don't know why I get a little weird about putting stuff like that on the internet. Actually, I do know why, but I will text you. I'll just say it's like central Minnesota. That's where like most of my family live, in the big, huge area that is central Minnesota. But I'm very excited. It might rain today, so that means I'm going to have to stay indoors and actually talk to people instead of fishing, which is great because I love talking to these people, so I don't know why I'm complaining about that either. I did get a second job interview, and I'm going to be posting this episode of the podcast the day that I have the second interview, so I don't want to like say too much, although there's really nothing to say. On a completely different note, I saw Jane Wickline last night in the show The Dukes. It was so good. I will give it a one-word review: bonkers. I loved it because it reminded me that you can do whatever you want. Sometimes I get so stuck in like the stand-up mindset that I forget that literally you can do anything you want. If you have a creative itch or something, just do it. Also, who cares? But it was really good. I've seen several comedy shows at the Parkway, and if you're from Minneapolis, right, you know that the Parkway kind of has its own vibe and stuff, and it's a really cool place to go, and the audiences are super fun and generous and stuff. And with that, I will say I've never seen an audience jump into a standing ovation so quick at the Parkway. I'm glad your writing class went well, Professor Jason. That sounds good for you, I think. I'm about to get going. Any more notes I send you will be from the lake, although it might rain. So anyway, off to be Shyloh the fisherman.
Hello, Shyloh the fisherman. It is Professor Jason. Oh, I do like the sound of that, Professor Jason. I don't know. I guess in a way it makes me think of Gilligan's Island. Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale. You remember, the Professor and Mary Ann. But it could be like the Professor and the fisherman, Shyloh. Anyways, so if we do lawnmower races again, you are totally a part of it. You can be the one that like waves the checkered flags to kick off the race, as like we're on the lawnmowers and like revving the engines like, and then we will take off at the speed of turtles. Good luck on the second job interview. That's incredibly exciting. Not that you need the luck, because you're awesome and you will be fantastic. Fingers crossed for you. That's really cool to hear about your friend's show at the Parkway. And yeah, you bring up a really valid point. Like, it's funny how creatives, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and we forget that when we're creating things, it can be anything that we want it to be. I too sometimes get stuck in a certain mindset when I'm working on a new project that it has to be a certain way. And I lose sight of the fact that, you know what? I'm a creative person and it can be anything in the world that I want it to be. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of creating new art. So thank you for that reminder, my friend. And yeah, the Parkway, it's such a cool venue. You know, that's the very first place that I ever opened for Louis Anderson, was at the Parkway. He was doing a show there, and I had a ticket to go see him, and he called me on my way over to the show and was like, "Oh, are you coming to the show tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "Fantastic, you're going to open for me." And yeah, I didn't have time to freak out about it because, you know, it was almost showtime. But yeah, so lots of great memories at the Parkway. All right. Hope you're having a wonderful time in central Minnesota.
Hey, Jason, I don't know if you're a big RuPaul's Drag Race fan, but I learned as of a couple minutes ago that their tagline about having charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent spells cunt. I have watched this show since season 1. I wipe my glasses because of that season 1 filter. I keep thinking is my glasses being dirty, but it's just the bad camera, right? So I'm like a big fan, and I learned tonight that the most important tagline, the whole criteria on which the contestants are judged, spells cunt. And it has since season 1. 15 years later, here I am questioning my existence. It must have been Jesus taking the wheel this whole time because I wasn't driving. I don't even know who I am anymore. My whole world view, my whole identity has been shattered. Now I know, and now I just have to continue doing my best to live my best cunt. I guess I'm gonna have to list this episode as explicit. Anyway, I'm spiraling, but I will be fine. Hope you're having a great weekend.
Shyloh, no. Oh my God, charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. I had no idea on RuPaul's Drag Race. But to be fair, in my, this is maybe why I haven't watched it since the first season. Because I just don't watch any season 2 and beyond of reality shows because all the contestants know how to work the angles and they know how to play the game, and it's not as interesting then to me anymore. They figure it out after watching the first group of people. But interesting. It makes me think of Kesha's song, the See You Next Tuesday. Naughty. But speaking of Kesha, I still stand by the fact that it is a banger, her and Pitbull, the I'm yelling timber, you better move, you better dance. Yeah, love it. I laughed out loud when you said Jesus take the wheel. That was good. I met Carrie Underwood once, and she was incredibly boring. It was like talking to a rock with hair extensions. Yeah, not fun. Anyways, yeah, that's what I know. Oh my gosh. Well, now I'm just in my mind singing Kesha and Pitbull. So, Shyloh, just remember, whenever in doubt in life, just move forward with charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and you'll be just fine.
Jason, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for exchanging voice notes with me throughout the whole week. Thank you for being a part of my podcast. You know I love working with you and I love hearing from you. So please send me voice notes anytime, anywhere about anything. I love hearing from you. I do have a couple things to say. I just want to clarify for the children that the person I saw at the Parkway is not my friend. Hopefully one day we can be friends because sometimes the comedy world works like that. And then, sometimes it doesn't. But who knows? Maybe one day we will be friends. Also, I would be honored to wave the checkered flag at your next lawnmower race event. I will get dressed up. I will dress inappropriately for that event, and I will wave that checkered flag like no one has ever seen a checkered flag get waved before. That might sound like a threat, and that's because it is. But thank you so much for doing this. This has honestly just been like the biggest delight, and please take a minute to let everyone know what you're up to, where they can find more about you, if you have anything coming up that you would like people to know about. And thank you again.
Shyloh, thank you for having me. I absolutely enjoyed this so much. What a delight it was to get voice notes from you each day. Super cool, like super, super cool. So thank you. And we covered a lot of ground. Like, we left no stone unturned this week. That's a fact. Just know this. You gave me the gift of the Traitors, which I will carry forward with me for the rest of my life. And, someday, somewhere, you will get another random voice note from me. And then you will look up and look around, and you'll just see a hooded figure disappear into the shadows. And you'll think, was that Jason? And it probably will be. So next up for me, I am doing the Minnesota Fringe Festival. I am doing a show that is called 50, a totally rad comedy about the gnarly reckoning of a Gen Xer. And the show, basically the description is, at 50, Jason finds himself unemployed, single, ghosted, and in trouble for splashing his nemesis in water aerobics class. Sometimes when life crashes and burns, all you can do is laugh. And it's about being a Gen Xer and realizing that our childhoods were all a horrible lie and that we were not really prepared for the real world at all. So it's pretty funny, and I think people will enjoy it, and hopefully I will see you there. All right, Shyloh, talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Voice Notes with Shyloh. An extra special thank you to Jason Schommer for doing the show. You can find Jason at Jason Schommer, JASONSH. Nope, I did it wrong. Let me try again. JASONSCHOMMER on Instagram or Facebook, probably everywhere. And you can find me at Shyloh Blake, SHYLOHBLAKE, on everywhere and everything. Also my website. Please rate this show. Please check out Jason's show. I'm actually super excited to go see that. I'm really excited for Fringe Fest all of a sudden. And don't forget to tune in next week to find out what I got up to this week. And make sure to send someone in your life a voice note this week. You know what feels awesome? Getting voice notes from friends and family. Anyway, thank you all for listening.